So what was growing up like for you?
Oh, for me, growing up. So growing up for me was fine at first. Uh, I felt like, the way I always describe to people would be like Beaver Cleaver family, you know.
You mind explaining that for
Oh, that's
for
right,
real,
because
just
I
in case?
forgot there's so
I don't
many
even know what that is.
young people
Okay.
out there
Okay.
now. Okay, most of the older people know exactly what I'm talking about, but okay, it was just, it was a sitcom back in the day, and it was, mom, dad worked, mom stayed at home, was a homemaker. Uh, I have a brother. He's a couple of years older than me, almost 3 years. And things were normal. We did our normal routine things, I mean, not a perfect family by any means, until my mom, about when I was 11, she was diagnosed with schizophrenia, and things changed bad, really dramatically, and we were never the same.
Hmm.
So,
Do you want to elaborate more on that, or
um,
totally up to you?
well, I mean, I've been talking a lot more about it lately than just trying to, work out some of my own stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, things change. Just like I lost my mom, the nice mom that used to read stories to us before bed, and the one that used to take me shopping and all that stuff. It's just like she was no longer there. Now my role changed more to like a caregiver. In a way, I had to watch her. I was a little bit more mature than my brother, even though he's almost 3 years older than me. No offense, Robert, if you're listening. I mean, I was more responsible, I guess. I don't know. But that's how I felt anyway. So my dad would take me out of school and let me go shopping with her and stuff to make sure that she spent the money properly, that she didn't. We coined it freak out when she would have her episodes, just so that we had a name to call it. But yeah, we had to keep her busy when my dad was at work, just play games with her and stuff like that, just to try to keep her occupied at first. So, and some of those stories are kind of scary, but for me at my age, I was 11, so
Yeah. Sound like you had to grow up fast.
yeah, I did. Yeah, so no more fun playtime necessarily, and after so many years go by, you start to get hard to it, and you think it's going to change after the first couple of years, so you're kind of, or at least for the first year, you think, maybe she'll come back and she'll be normal again, and it didn't happen. So I got kind of hard to it, and plus I was going into my teenage years, and that was real uncomfortable too. So I used to be real outgoing. Was in, I had lots of friends, before the situation. Real outgoing, always in, programs and in school and all kinds of stuff. And then I just kind of reverted and just, I don't know, I had an attitude, and maybe just things changed.
Yeah. Makes sense though. I mean, growing up faster than you should. Sounded like you didn't really have the ability to be a kid.
Yeah. No, and everybody was, would always say, "Oh, you're handling this so well," so you get proud of it.
Well, that's what it seems like on the outside, doesn't it?
Yeah, it
Yeah.
does. Never having chance to process it, so you just stuff all those feelings down, and you minimize, you deny. That's typical. And you just harbor those feelings, and then they come out later in anxiety and triggers, you don't even know where they come from. And those are things that I'm really learning all about now, which is kind of cool. So, just learning who I am now and stuff like that.
Yeah, I relate. It's funny thinking, and I think that helps our personality types too. If you think about it, like when people say, "Hey, great job, you're handling this well," that kind of feeds our ego, doesn't
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it
it?
does.
So it feels
Yeah.
good, and then you realize that what you're doing is kind of unhealthy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Never really having to process. Only lately, just within the last couple of years, have I actually got a chance to grieve her illness, which was phenomenal.
Yeah.
It was so big, so big. There was just, it was like a grief, you know. And when she passed away, I mean, our relationship, she got on some medication and she did end up getting somewhat better, at least as far as we knew. You know, she only had a few episodes after that, but it took her a long time, though. It took us a long time to get the help that to get her the help that she needed. There's not a whole lot out there to help people with mental illness. Now there's more,
Yeah.
but back then it was a hard process. It was hard. Finally, I think by the time I was 16 by the time my dad was able, you know, we moved from Tacoma down here to Missouri, and I think I was about 16 when my dad finally had to start the procedures. I don't know if he got advice or how, but she was dangerous. She had attempted to kill him a couple times, and this was the second time, and so he had to get her arrested, which was really tough because I was there, and they handled it kind of roughly because I don't think the police understood, you know, that they were just trying to protect my dad. It wasn't in the heat of the moment or anything,
Yeah.
but it was really hard for me, and I was very emotional watching her being arrested, and he had to divorce her, and just get her awarded to the state so that she could get some help, and she ended up getting a guardian, and then she was on her way, and it took years though, and we had to testify, me and my brother, and also my boyfriend at the time, which is still my husband. I think I was was I 17 at that time? I think 16 still, 16. Yeah. We had to testify in court to show that she was not capable of being on her own. And so we had to tell some of these stories of stuff that she would do,
Yeah.
and right in front of her, right in front of a bunch of strangers. That was hard. That was really hard. Very emotional.
To be like you're against your mom kind of thing.
Yep, right in front of her face, and that was so hard. We still, after she got the right medication and she was better, we never talked about it. I still was afraid. I think that it would trigger her to freak out again, and so we never talked about it. And so I don't know what she felt. I mean, yeah, that was tough. It was really tough.
It would be really tough. It's crazy too, because I can't imagine going through all that. One, like going through it, but it's crazy thinking too, because obviously I knew her, but towards the later stages, and I can't even imagine that being her, which is really interesting.
I know. And I didn't want to. I don't think I shared a lot of this stuff with you guys at all when
No.
you were little, because I didn't want you to look at her that way. I mean, when you were older, you guys, you know, we talked about it,
Yeah.
and stuff, but yeah, I mean, she got well enough that, I mean, I felt comfortable for her to watch you guys, you know, even on her own overnight and stuff like that. I mean, she was fine, but of course, we kind of baby stepped it in there. We lived by, you know, your other grannies, and she would come over and check on her all the time, and we would do small segments at first, and she would check on you kids and stuff, because she literally lived like a house or two away, thankfully. So it was good.
Yeah.
So,
It was good. Yeah, she was a sweet old lady.
yeah,
I
she
think
was
my
so
favorite thing
funny.
was her jokes.
Oh my goodness.
She always had a joke. I remember every holiday or something we'd come together, and she'd always have some funny joke. Sometimes they're over my head because I was a kid, but
I know.
yeah, they were hilarious though.
Yeah, she was funny. Yeah, she was a sweet lady, and she was a good mom. You know, she was really a good mom, and she really cared about us. So, and we were somewhat restored. You know, it's just not completely. We didn't completely. You know, like I said, we didn't talk about the past. We didn't go there. We just kept focusing on the here and now, and that's fine. I mean, but it would have been nice to have a little bit of closure. You know, it would have been really neat to talk to somebody that's going through that and just see what do you feel at that moment? What are you going through? and have a actual deep conversation, with somebody that's going through that situation.
Yeah.
I know her caseworker, I talked to her after she passed away, and she said she was fascinated with mental illness. She wanted to learn. She was always trying to learn things about how she could better herself as well. So I don't know. We just never talked about it. So I don't know what she knew, what she felt. I know that all I remember, I think, is that they said that she told me I thought she said she was taking a shot a month. So I don't know what that was. And I thought it was a month.
Yeah.
So, and that kept her balanced or whatever. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you regret not having having that conversation and that closure, or do you feel like it was fine because, obviously she passed, so were the last moments great because
Yeah.
you didn't need to? So
Yeah.
yeah.